things. We're saying it. Look how great. What? Viral? Okay. Boom.
Hi guys, this week I'm joined by the wonderful Miles McKenna. So Miles, let's do the basics. Where are you from?
I was born in Los Angeles, but like my childhood was Las Vegas, teen years Orange County, so always like a West Coast boy.
Okay, cool. I love the West Coast. When did you get started on YouTube?
I started YouTube when I was 11 years old, so I'm 21 now.
So you've been on YouTube the full decade of YouTube?
Oh, this year is the 10 years. End of 2015, that started being like a thing where it's like, oh, now people are watching.
How would you describe your channel?
Yeah, people like ask that, and I'll just be like, you know, I make LGBTQ plus content, but also try to be funny like everyone else, because like that's what we do here. So like there's that.
That's what we do here on the internet.
Yeah. Like in my teen years, oh, it's a place where I can just be myself and no one at my school knows. And then it turned into, you know, finding like queer people like you, and then like trans people like other people, and then just being like, oh, I'm myself. And I started growing from that.
So nobody in your high school knew about your channel?
It came out, like before I came out, that came out.
For those who don't know, what would you sum up as your coming out journey, transitioning journey?
Yeah, when someone asks like, how was your coming out process? I'm like, I've had multiple, and the thing is with me, the first thing I ever came out was gay. I always say like, if I was in a safe space and had like the language to put how I felt at a young age, I would've been going by he, him from the get-go. But that wasn't a thing, and the only things I knew about trans were it was bad and like, this isn't okay, from the immediate people around me.
Environment is such a big factor. I watched this documentary on Vice the other day, and I'll put the link in the description below, but it was talking about how in Sweden, one of the S countries, in preschool, they don't use gender pronouns for the children at all. The gender pronoun that they use is hen. We don't have an equivalent for it in the English language. Then when they get older, the kids start deciding what pronoun to use. And
that's amazing.
Isn't that great?
Wait.
Yeah, in preschool, guys, preschool. So did you internally realize your sexuality and your gender identity around the same time?
It was really gender identity first. When I was a kid, it was like really early things where it's like I wanted, you know, to cut my hair. I was always on the boys' sports teams, and then, you know, I'd get kicked off because I was like the girl. I never even felt like I was different. I was just me, and like this was just me. Like all my friends were guys, and I liked everything the guys did. Remember when I was 8 years old, I was like singled out and was told that I couldn't like play some game with like a bunch of boys because like I was a girl. I remember having that pit in my stomach, being like, wait, like what? And one of my friends actually stood up for me. We're 8 years old, and he goes, oh no, she's cool. She's just a boy stuck in a girl's body. Literally said that as an 8-year-old. We never had a conversation, and everyone's just like, oh, okay. And I was allowed to play. The coming out process for me was bad. It wasn't good. It was all bad. So I remember like literally the first time it was like the worst thing ever, thinking, well, now I can never explore my gender identity because this was bad. I don't want to do this again. So I just kind of like ate that for a long time, and then was thrown into like, you know, like the lesbian community. And I never used the word lesbian. I always used gay.
I always say gay because that's just, I always thought it meant, you know, blanket term, same-sex attraction.
Yeah.
Do we need to separate the terms?
And even still, like, I love to operate in a space where I don't like to necessarily identify as one thing or another. Like, I know I'm a guy, like, I'm just like a boy, and like, that's what it is. But with my sexuality, I don't like to necessarily define it. Like, if someone asks something I have to know, like, I'll say queer because like, I've been with girls. I am currently with someone who doesn't identify with a gender or a sexuality. So like gender neutrality I love, and it's like, well, that's not gay and that's not straight. We just are people and do what you want to do.
Here's a shocker. What if we just say I'm with and then say their name? It's not about their gender. It's not about your gender. We can just say I'm so-and-so and I'm in love with this person, you know?
A label is just a word that like pretty packages you up and gives it to another person.
Yeah, labels have their pros and their cons. One, they create community. So in areas where you're marginalized and you don't have the ability, you don't know who is going through a similar experience, that's a benefit of a label because you can find community. But then again, they create categories that really kind of put boundaries between us. So that's the private side of life, and I'm sorry that the coming out experience didn't go well. It sucks.
Yeah, that was the best to keep that in.
The coming out experience sucks. It doesn't suck for you. It sucks. It's hard.
It's a thing. It really
can be sucky.
It's so vulnerable, and there's so much put on the moment of like coming out. And I feel like when you're at the moment and you come out to everyone, it's kind of this weird like, well, now what?
What advice would you give to people coming out based off of what happened in your experience?
I would say to come out to yourself first before anyone else. At the end of the day, you want to make sure you like you, and then after that, the good people will start coming out the woodworks.
I love that.
It's so easy to be a sad teenager, and I always say this and I can't stress it enough. It's so easy. I was that. It's so easy to be stuck in your bubble of home, which is really small, to then your school, which is a little bit bigger but still smaller, and then your community.
The world is much bigger.
It's so much bigger than that. And plus, we live in a time where we have the internet, which for the first time in all of history, you can communicate with someone on the other side of the world world that feels exactly the same that you do, and you can grow from that.
Yeah.
And even just watching YouTubers, like watching your coming out videos helped me so much in my process, because it's like, cool, someone else out there gets it. All right, I'll be fine.
Gets better, and then worse, and then better. It does genuinely get better. Would you say it gets better?
Oh, 1,000,000%. When I first went through my coming out process, so many bad things happened. I was the kid who was a self-harmer. I was the kid who had to sleep in their car some nights because that's all that they could do. And this year I went on tour and I made safe spaces across the country talking to young kids who are like queer and trans and their parents. I got a text from my mom saying, hey, like break a leg today, please make a difference. And that's something I never would have expected, 2 years ago, Miles. And I remember I tweeted, I was like, this is gonna sound so cliche, but I put the date and I'm like, it gets better. Because I was the kid who literally tweeted after I first came out saying, do not come out, because it was so much easier being silent about who I was than having everyone hate me. I'm done. And now I'm like, oh my gosh, if I hadn't have gone through that, I wouldn't be me.
It's more familiar to hide this secret in my body, but it will be easier for you to live the rest of your life wholly. Maybe not right away, but on the long term, yeah, you want to start that journey. Do you have any advice for people who are nervous about coming out to their parents? Especially given that you had a negative experience in the beginning.
Yeah, I found a lot of solace in having empathy for others. And I think a big misconception is that, your parents are evil and they're misjudging you because they hate you and they want you to feel bad. It's like, no, everyone thinks that they're the superhero. No one ever thinks they're the villain of like their story. Everyone thinks that they're the good guy and that LGBTQ+ is evil and it's taking away their kid and they just want to help you. People react poorly to things because they're afraid or they don't have all the information. So giving people time and being strong enough in yourself, knowing who you are to be like, I'm gonna sit back, I'm not gonna engage that much, I'm gonna let them do their thing, but I'm sure as hell gonna do my thing.
Wow, yeah, double like, thumbs up, I totally agree. Like this video if you agree. In a way, and this is gonna sound different from how I mean it, in a way, you almost have to be patient with their ignorance as long as they're trying to learn. Back
in the day, they didn't have social media where everyone could be friends. The kids that were gay were outcasts. The kids that were trans were super underground about it. And they're like, oh no, I don't want that for my kid.
Yeah, which Miles is why, thank you so much for making your channel and being so open about your journey, because this is representation. And this goes for you guys at home too. Just being yourself is an act of resistance, right? It's an act of putting yourself out there and being like, look, I'm me.
When people come out, it's like, and they speak out about things, they're coming out for those that can't right now. Because there's so many kids that would love to, but just don't have the words to put to it yet. If you don't know who you are right now, that's also so fine. Life's all about growth. Just keep doing your thing.
Yes.
Be around people that you want to be around and just spread love. There's only one rule, just be kind.
Yeah, be kind, yay! Boo boop. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching. Miles, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's pretty good. If you guys want to check out more of Miles, go over to his channel. I put the links in the description below. And you can find more of me here online by clicking like, subscribe, notifications, and watching me Mondays at 10 p.m. only on the Food Network. Mwah. Have a great day. Yeah!